There's a reason explorers, farmers, and even militaries trusted this truck. This is the Hot Wheels Land Rover Series II. Today we're taking a look at a Hot Wheels version of one of the most respected off-road vehicles ever created, the Land Rover Series II. I've done some digging here. Let's see what we came up with on the history of this vehicle. To understand why this little truck matters so much, we have to go back to the years after World War II. Europe was rebuilding, roads were rough, infrastructure was damaged, and farmers and workers needed a vehicle that could go absolutely anywhere. The Rover Company in Britain saw an opportunity to build a simple, durable utility vehicle inspired by wartime Jeeps, but designed for civilian life. The result was a Land Rover. The first version launched in 1948 and quickly became a success across farms, construction sites, and remote regions around the world. But by the late 1950s, Rover knew the vehicle needed improvements. So in 1958, they introduced the Land Rover Series II. This new version wasn't just an update, it was a major step forward in both design and capability. One of the first things people noticed was the new body shape. The Series II had a slightly wider bodywork with curved sides, giving it a tougher and more modern look. The design came from Rover's slight styling department and helped define the classic Land Rover appearance people still recognize today. But the real magic of the Series II wasn't how it looked, it was how it worked. This machine was designed to survive some of the harshest conditions on Earth. The body panels were made from aluminum instead of steel. This wasn't done to make the truck fancy, it was done because aluminum was available after the war, and it wouldn't rust like steel. That meant that these trucks could survive wet climates, jungles, farms, and salty coastal areas. Under the hood was a tough and simple engine. Most Series II models used a 2.25-liter four-cylinder engine producing around 77 horsepower and about 124 pound-feet of torque. Now those numbers might not sound impressive today, but that engine was built for reliability and low-speed pulling power. This truck was meant to climb hills, crawl over rocks, and haul equipment, not win drag races. Power was sent through a 4-speed manual transmission and a dual-range transfer case that allowed drivers to switch between high and low gearing. That low-range gearing made a huge difference off-road. It allowed the truck to move slowly with incredible control while climbing steep terrain or crawling through mud and rocks. The four-wheel drive system itself was simple and extremely durable. Drivers could engage four-wheel drive when needed, and the transfer case split power to both axles, giving the truck traction in places where most vehicles would get stuck. This was one of the key reasons the Land Rover became famous. Explorers took them deep into Africa, farmers relied on them every day, military forces used them in harsh environments, and humanitarian organizations drove them into remote villages around the world. Another reason people loved these trucks was how easy they were to repair. You didn't need a computer or special equipment. Many repairs could be done with basic hand tools, sometimes even out in the field. That simplicity made them perfect for remote parts of the world. The Series II is offered in different wheelbase lengths as well. There was a short wheelbase version called the 88-inch model, which is what this one is here on display, and a longer 109-inch version that could carry more cargo or passengers. Between 1958 and 1961, tens of thousands of these trucks were built and shipped all over the world. And even though production numbers were strong, many of them were used hard, which makes surviving examples especially desirable today. Collectors and enthusiasts now hunt for these trucks because they represent a time when vehicles were built for purpose above everything else. And that brings us to something really interesting. Some of these trucks have recently shown up at Bring a Trailer auctions. So let's take a look at what a few of them have sold for in the recent past. All right, this is the most recent sale on Bring a Trailer. This is the 1960 Series II. Sold for $44,250. Now this is one of the higher priced ones I've seen that have sold in the last couple of years. It looks like it was pretty much restored from the ground up. It's got 63,000 miles showing on the odometer. And this was in Miami, Florida. There's a picture of it with the plane flying over, kind of an interesting shot. And this one, it also shows it with the windshield folded down and everything, just like the little Hot Wheels version we're showing here. There it is with the soft top and the windshield up and the doors on it, or the upper doors on it. Those were removable, obviously. And having that tire on the hood is a pretty interesting concept as well. Interesting place to store it there. Very basic inside, you can see. You can sit 3 people across the front there. A very basic dashboard, very simple. There's another shot of the dash. This one looks like brand new. Look at that engine. They restored it perfectly. Here's another one. This one sold for $17,250. This is also a 1960. Sold back in June of 25, it looks like. This one says it's got 10,000 kilometers, but that's shown, so total miles unknown. This one's a little more used looking, not perfectly restored or anything, but most of the ones that I was seeing on here seem to be in the teens, in the price range. This one has some kind of aftermarket seats they put in the front of it too there. That obviously isn't factory. There's the engine with a little more dirt on it. Now here's another one that sold for $18,500 back in May of 25. This one's got the roof rack and the hard roof and the off-road lights, all that kind of stuff on it. This one's showing 48,000 miles, says total miles unknown again. And it's got the 3 across seating in the front. And then this one shows the back, so it's got those 2 little jump seats that face each other kind of in the back there. So very interesting. These are interesting vehicles. They kind of remind me of the Toyota FJ Cruisers from way back in the day too. Very, very similar in the removable hardtop and all that they had. There's a shot of the engine. This truck helped establish Land Rover as one of the greatest off-road brands in the world. Everything that came later, the Defender, Discovery, and modern adventure vehicles, traces its roots back to machines like this. And even today, people still drive and restore these classics. Not because they're fast, not because they're luxurious, but because they're honest machines built to do a job. And that's something a lot of people still respect. And that's why even a little Hot Wheels version of this truck deserves a place on the display. Because trucks like this Hot Wheels Land Rover Series II are meant to be seen.